Hello Sagittarius Moon Signs, and welcome to your prediction for the full moon, which is also a blue moon happening in Taurus on the 31st of October, which is also Halloween and Samhain. It's a real special one, so please stay tuned. Guys, it's a blue moon, which means it's the second full moon of October, which is incredibly rare. Plus, we have a full moon happening on Halloween, also known as Samhain, which is an ancient pagan holiday. It is the halfway point between the solstice and the equinox, so astrologically it's quite significant, and it is traditionally believed to be a time when there's a thinning of the veils, right? They used to say that fairies used to easily kidnap humans around this time, and so it's just this idea of the crossover between the different realms, the astral realms, and here a lot easier. We can receive messages, we can receive revelations, divine truths, insights, and we can also cross over quite easily. So I hope you will be cautious and conscious about this energy. And yeah, so this full moon is happening in Taurus. It is conjunct Uranus in Taurus, both at 8 degrees, and is opposite the sun. Of course, this is what a full moon is, opposite the sun. Also 8 degrees of Scorpio. So we have 888. Shout out to Tanya Gabrielle, astronumerologist. Also to the Astrology Podcast and Molly McCord. This is where I get my astrological information from. Although a lot of interpretation is my own in terms of astrologically. Of course, I'm interpreting cards for you guys. But essentially, 8 is the number of abundance. It's the number of infinity. It's a number of wealth. It's a number of strength and structure. But interesting with Uranus in the conversation here, because Uranus brings a destabilization. It shakes things up. It shows us the truth, right? While Taurus is normally very stable, very structured, very abundant as well, very grounded. Uranus is just coming through and shaking up those foundations. And so it brings this energy of us realizing, having sudden recognition of, this thing that I've been putting so much energy and time into for so many years, this thing I thought was a sure thing, a stable thing, is actually the very thing that's been holding me back. And so we must shift, so we must transform, so we must change the situation and ourselves and the way we view the situation. And in so many ways, this really speaks about that shift from the age of Capricorn into the age of Aquarius, from earth into air, earth being solid, structured, unchanging or slow changing, into that air energy which is fast and moving and changing and shifting with speed. Every 5 minutes, right? Moves with ease. And so with this opposition between the moon and the sun, we really have this bringing of an understanding also of power dynamics, what power dynamics are unequal, how they need to shift and change, and we really have that opportunity to shift and change those fundamental beliefs within ourselves. And even if we've recognized these things before, perhaps we're just awakening to subtle ways that we're still sort of perpetuating those kinds of ideas by sort of very ingrained and programmed natural habits and thoughts and beliefs, things we take for granted. And they're being revealed. And so may we be compassionate and kind and gentle with ourselves and with others through this time, because of course Mars and Mercury are still in retrograde. So this makes communication a little bit difficult. This makes logistics, movements, and forward motion, all a little bit slowed down, right? A little bit more frustrating. And so we need that patience, we need that compassion. We need to see with loving eyes and not react. But go back, meditate, and then come in, respond from a space of centeredness, of calm, of being that eye of the storm. In terms of general energy for you guys, I'm getting 2 cards, passion and comfort. And it's quite interesting because in so many ways for so long, you know, before 2020, a lot of us were just sitting in that comfort zone and not pushing ourselves beyond that. And quite often not following our passion, not following our true purpose, not walking that fearless path because of getting stuck in that comfort zone. And so many of us have been forced to exit that comfort zone and find new ways to be comfortable outside of that previously thought boundary. We've extended those boundaries of where we can find comfort. And so, you know, manifesting and creating comfort, very important. But please know that just by stepping out of that comfort zone, you will find new ways to find comfortability outside of that narrow boundary. And it really is about breaking those boundaries down right now. Please do follow your passion. And if you already are, yes, congratulations. The world needs you to do this. There is a reason you have this inner yearning. There is a reason you feel this pull to do this. Listen to that inner calling. And then in terms of the energy that we have leading up to this full moon for you, and then in terms of this energy we have leading up to this full moon for you, we have the 9 of Pentacles with the 8 of Cups. And so it really is a brand new beginning in terms of your relationship towards abundance, how you view abundance, what you define abundance as, where you can recognize abundance, what you define as success and wealth, and about shifting your belief systems within yourself in order to better serve you and your purpose and your ability to walk forward in this world in more empowering ways on that path of following your passion. And Sagittarius moons, it is so important for you, especially to be following that passion, that drive. But you also need to bring the grounding element in. You also need to be practical. You do need to be taking steps, because sometimes you guys are a little bit like, oh yes, I'll do that, and then oh yes, I'll do that, and then that. And you know, and some of you might have Earth sun placements and be a bit more practical with that Sagittarius moon energy, but some of you might have air sun placements, in which case it's like, you know, shifting and changing almost too often. And this adaptability is really amazing, it's really great, but you do need to bring some practical grounding, and you do need to check in with your emotions, the way you're feeling, your intuition. You can't just go for everything you hear, every single door. Don't say yes to every single thing, because trust me, there are an abundance of options for you available all of the time. But don't say no to a thing because you're scared and you don't feel worthy. Know that you are worthy. Say no to the things that are not aligning with who you truly are. And don't lie to yourself about who you truly are. You are magic. You are a divine alchemist. You are a divine creator. You are worthy of the most exciting and beautiful journeys imaginable to you. Follow your passion. Good luck with turning over this new leaf and checking in with the abundance. I love it. And then in terms of the energy that you have happening for you over this full moon, you know, the thing is that when we check in with our belief systems, when we redefine what wealth and abundance and success means, sometimes what needs to happen is certain things need to be cleared out of our life because they're no longer aligning with these new empowering beliefs. But sometimes we, you know, because maybe you didn't expect that thing to kind of bomb out and you're like, whoa, what happened here? This seems like a disaster, but please, please, please take this as a blessing. Take this as a blessing. Pick up the pieces you've got left and move in a different direction, because this is divine guidance coming through, and it's coming through in the form of this thing is not working. This thing is not working. Let it go. Let it go. And it might be a person who's somehow betrayed you. It's kind of that feeling of like life going, you know, that feeling of like being taunted, being prodded. And, you know, in some ways this really correlates with that Mars and Mercury retrograde energy. So make sure that it's not just because of a miscommunication that's happening now at this time. But I think in some ways you're realizing how, ooh, it's actually always been that way. And to be honest, those signs were there all the time. And now I just need to recognize that it's time to leave this behind. Just cut your losses and move on. Forgive. Don't carry it with you into this new path that you're going to forge and walk. Don't take that with. Let it go. Forgive. Release. Move on. I think it's very important for you to spend quiet time alone this full moon. I know sometimes some of you are gathering with friends and, you know, doing ritual together, but I mean, and I'm not saying don't do that, but please do make sure that you take at least an hour to be completely alone and to just sit and listen to yourself. Do some soul searching, do some checking in, ask yourself how you're feeling about the different projects in your life and how you're feeling about what it is that you want. Because I think that there may be more than one thing you need to actually let go of that are just draining your energy and not actually feeding your fire, right? You need to be in projects collaborating with people who feed your drive, who feed your passion, who ground you, where you have these sort of beautiful relationships. Take the time. I know you're very social creatures with that Sagittarian moon placement, very social creatures, but please just take some time to be alone so that you can hear the stirrings of your own soul. A very essential thing for you to do at this time. And then in terms of the energy you have after this full moon, we have the Two of Wands with the Two of Pentacles. 2, solidity, foundation, balance, relationship, harmony, bringing things into balance. And so balance is an absolute key for unlocking the door of this journey of you following that passion, walking that path. And you know what? There is always more than one path laid before you, Sagittarius moons. There is not only one option. There are going to be many decisions to make along the way. And quite often, it's not going to be a right or a wrong decision. Go with the thing that makes you feel more excited. Go with the more adventurous route. And I don't know what your sun placements are, but your inner stirrings of your Sagittarius moon, it calls for fun, it calls for adventure. Yes, you can be practical along those adventure routes, but go for the thing of highest joy and highest excitement. That's the one. Some of you are going to be traveling. I know it's a time of lockdown still. A lot of places are going backwards into a more strict lockdown again. But I do get the sense that some of you are going to be traveling. Maybe it's just locally, maybe it's to visit family, but there does seem to be this sense of motion, of movement, of travel. Although some of you may choose to stay put and to do the inner journey traveling, right? Maybe you're traveling in the dream realms. But there is this sense of you forging a new path. And there is this sense that when you focus on bringing balance, on checking in with your emotions, on, yes, doing the work in terms of your physical, material, job, money, paying work, but also doing the emotional work, the healing work, the spiritual work. Bringing these things into balance, that is your key to success. That is the key that unlocks the door. That is how you make the hours that you put into work really potent, really powerful. Beautiful Sagittarius moons. I do hope you enjoyed that prediction. If you did, please hit like, please hit subscribe. This is how you can support me here in this realm. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Please let me know if that resonated. I would really love if you joined me on Instagram. I do a weekly live on Tuesday evenings, 8:30 p.m. The time zone is GMT +2, that's South African time. And yeah, connect with me on Facebook so that you can keep up to date with all the things I'm up to. And also, if you would like a full tarot spread, please drop me an email. I'd love to do this work with you. Thank you for all the amazing work you're doing in this world. Thank you for being brave enough to follow your passion, to follow that inner fire, and to ignite the flames in others as well through your courage, through your passion, and through your daringness to find comfortability past your comfort zone. Beautiful Sagittarius moon. Till next time, with love.